Hello students, we have seen what is the distance formula. Let us start with the first question. This is the first question. What does it state here? What does it say? What is the perpendicular distance of A from y axis? Now there is nothing else. It's just given the coordinates and we have discussed in our first part, introduction part, whenever there is a point here, right? If I'm having this coordinate as 5 comma 12, right? You don't need to draw it, but I'm just drawing so that you understand the concept. This kind of question will be one marker MCQ. Okay. So here, if I mark here, this is 5, if this is the point A, right? What are its coordinates? 5, comma 12. Now, when they say perpendicular distance from y-axis, remember it is always x coordinate. So what is the perpendicular distance of A from y-axis? It is x coordinate because this is your distance, right? This distance is parallel to this. And what is this point here? 5. So it is going to be 5 units, right? So your answer is going to be 5 units. Other than that, what is the perpendicular distance of this A from x-axis? It is going to be 12 units, which is y coordinate, right? So here, because they are asking from y-axis, our answer is 5 units. So it is one marker MCQ type question. Now let us see the next question here. The next question states that what is given here? Find the perimeter of a triangle with vertices 0, 4, 0, comma 4, 0, 0 and 3, 0. So always try to draw the rough figure. It becomes easy when we are drawing the figure to calculate the values, right? So let me draw here triangle, right? You can draw any rough figure, and if I label this as A, B, C, right? And I'm writing here coordinates as 0, comma 4, coordinates of B is 0, comma 0, and coordinates of this is 0, comma 3, comma 0, right? Now perimeter of a triangle here, what is going to be the perimeter of a triangle? This kind of question, it can be 2 marker or it can be multiple choice question also. So perimeter of here triangle ABC is nothing but the sum of all these three sides. So AB plus BC plus AC. That means I have to find out here distance. We have to use distance formula to find out the distance between these two vertices. What is this distance? A to B, right? A to C. So we use distance formula when the coordinates are given, right? So first let us see AB. Before that, if it is a subjective question, make sure you mention here distance formula also one time. So let us write down here x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Correct? So let us start with AB length. What is going to be AB length? Here A to B. Now if you remember, we have learned one more formula. This is nothing but origin. For the origin, the distance formula can be x square plus y square also, because OP, if I'm taking it here, where it is one of the coordinate is 0, 0, right? Or if you don't want to use it, you can substitute here also and you can write down 0 minus 0 is whole square plus a, if I'm taking this as x1, y1 and this a as x2, y2, right? So what is y2 here? 4 minus 0 whole square. Now what is the value here? 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 square is also 0. So you are left with 4 minus 4, which is 4 minus 0 is 4. And you are left with 4 square, and square root of 4 square is 4. So you have to mention here no centimeter or meter. No units are given. No unit is given. So you'll write down as 4 units. This is your first finding. Now let us go for BC. BC also one of the coordinates is 0, 0 because it's origin. So I can take it here 3 minus 0 whole square plus 0 minus 0 whole square, which is nothing but root 3 square equals to 3 units, right? This is your second length. Then what is the third length here? AC. AC is again, you can take any value as per your convenience. Here I can take this as x1, y1 and x2, y2, or I can take here A as x1, y1 and this as x2, y2, right? But whatever you are taking it, take it in the same order. So what is the length of AC? I'm taking C to A here. So C is x2, y2. So 3 minus 0 whole square plus 0 minus 4 whole square. Because I started with 3 here, so second y2 minus y1 also, I will take 0 as y2 and 4 as y1. So what is going to be a value here? 3 square plus 4 square, which is nothing but 9 plus 16, which is root 25, which is equals to 5 units, right? So what is going to be the perimeter here? Perimeter is going to be 4 plus 3 plus 5, right? Which is going to be 12 units. This is the perimeter. There is another very good question because they can ask you here which type of triangle this is. Because if you will see 3, 4, 5 is nothing but Pythagorean triplet. So if I'll draw this, this is going to form a right triangle because 3, 4, 5, right? We know that 3 square plus 4 square equals to 5 square, right? 3 square is 9, 9 plus 16, it is 25. So they can ask you another question also, mention the type of triangle. So it is a right triangle, right? With hypotenuse, it is a right triangle. So this can be the additional question. So whenever you are solving questions, please check if you can add any further additional question, right? So here we can find out the type of triangle. Now, because it is the right triangle, I can calculate here. They can ask you to find out area of triangle also, right? What is going to be area of triangle? Half base into height. Now you know that 5 is going to be hypotenuse here. This is your hypotenuse. Hypotenuse length, we can't take it as base and height. So what can be here? Base can be 4, height can be 3. And if you will solve this, so 6 square units you will write on here. So you can see this here in this question. This is the extra part which can be asked for this particular question. So if you are using distance formula, we can find out the perimeter by finding all the three sides. Right? Let us go for the next question here. Let us see now the third question. What is the third question here? It's written, write down the coordinates of point P on x-axis, which is equidistant from the points A and B, which is minus 2 comma 0 and 6 comma 0. Now what is given here? P is on x-axis, right? So the coordinates are going to be, if I take coordinate of P is x0, and you can see that A is also on x-axis because the coordinates of A is minus 2 comma 0, and B is also on x-axis because coordinate is 6 comma 0. Now we don't need to use here distance formula because you know that all these 3 points are on the x-axis. So this kind of question, it can become in MCQ form also here, MCQ multiple choice question base also. So if I'm taking here, right, somewhere here in the middle, which is P, I don't know what is the value of what are the coordinates of P, but I know it is equidistant from A and B, right? So because you know that left side will be A, so minus 2 comma 0, B coordinate should be right side of P because X coordinate is positive. Now this is B. I know this distance, it's equal because it's given AP is equals to BP. Now can I find out what is the total distance between here this, right? Now minus 2 to 6 units. So how do you do it? You take the absolute value of minus 2, which is 2. So minus 2 to 6, it is going to be 8 units because the distance we take the absolute value. So if it is here 0 and minus 2, when we are talking about distance, we always take 2 units. And here till 6 units total, it is 6 units. So it is going to be total 8 units is the distance between AB, right? So AB is nothing but total length here, it is 8 units. Now P is exactly in the middle here. That means it is going to be 4 units distance, right? So what is going to be? AP is going to be 4 units, right, from P, and B is also 4 units from P. So if I am moving here 4 units from 6, right, because I am moving left, it will be minus 4, or from A to P, it is going to be positive 4 because I am moving towards the right. So either to find out P coordinates, either you do minus 2 plus 4, which is 2, or you can do 6 minus 4, which is 2. So what is going to be the coordinates of P? It is 2 comma 0. Why we were able, we don't need to use here distance formula because all the three coordinates are on x-axis. So we can get direct answer here, right? Let us go for the next question here where we use distance formula to solve the question, right? So let us go for the next fourth question. What does it ask for? Here, question number 4. Now here if you will see in question number 4, they have given if q is a point 0 comma 1 is equidistant from p is another point with 5 minus 3 and rx minus 6, you need to find out the value of x. Also find the distance QR and PR. So once we have R coordinates, we can find out here QR and PR also using distance formula. So first let us draw whatever they are asking. Now if you will see the coordinates, this does not belong to any of the axes. They are on different quadrants. So, and I don't even know here x is whether positive or negative. So what do? It is q is equidistant from p and r. So take here q. It is equidistant from p. So draw here. Why are we drawing the rough figure? So that it's easy to understand. 5 minus 3. The coordinates of q, it is 0 comma 1, and q is equidistant from r also, where the r coordinates are x comma 6. Now I know here qr is equals to qp, right? That's a given value. So let us start with here. What do we have here? PQ is equals to QR. This is given value, right? Because equidistance means the distance of that point, it's equal from Q is equal from both the points P and R. So how do we do it? Now again, you will first start with writing distance formula. What is the distance formula? You have it here. It is root x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square, right? Now how to find out here PQ? Let us take here PQ length. PQ length, you can take any coordinates as x1, y1. I am taking here, what am I taking here? This as x1, y1, this is as x2, y2, right? So I am just taking bigger value here to x1, x2, y2. Okay, you can take it in any order. So will it be here 5 minus 0 whole square, which is x2 minus here, see, x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1. So what is going to be here y2 minus y1? So plus minus 3 minus 1 whole square, right? Which is nothing but if I simplify further, it is 5 square plus minus 4 because there is a negative value. So make sure you are using brackets. So 25 plus 16, which is equals to root of 41 units, right? This is the length, we got it. Or what you can do it here, you can start with PQ equals to QR also. So in the next question, we'll take it like that. First, I'm using the separate formula here. So, first, I'm finding the separate length, so you understand this. What is your QR? QR, if I take x minus 0 whole square plus 6 minus 1 whole square, right? Which is nothing but x square plus 5 square, which is root x square plus 25. Now it's given here PQ is equals to QR. So equate those two values here. I can write on here first QR value x square plus 25 equals to root 41. Now you see both the values are in square root, right? So what do? We have to get rid of the square root, otherwise we won't be able to solve the question. So how can we remove the square root? You will do here, you will write on here squaring both sides, right? So when we are writing here, you can, whenever you are start writing this PQ equals to QR, you know that any of these kind of equation, you will always get under root value. So here only you can write on here squaring both sides, and you can start with PQ square equals to QR square, right? So that you will not have here square root. So if both sides square root will be removed, it is x square plus 25 equals to 41. Then x square equals to 41 minus 25. How much are we getting it? Here 11 minus 5, it is 6 and 16, right? So x is now, because this is a coordinate geometry, make sure there are always two possible values when you are taking square root. Why is it true? Because here if you see, 4 square is also 16 and minus 4 square is also 16. So if we take square root of 16, the answer can be plus 4 or minus 4. And this is not about any application where we are talking about the length. This is the coordinates. The coordinates can be positive or negative, anything. So what can be the coordinates of Q? 4 comma, here what is the value here? It's the coordinates of r here, right? Because we got the value of x, so coordinates of r can be here 4 comma 6. So these are the coordinates of r, not q, right? So coordinates of r can be 4 comma 6, right? Or coordinates of r can be minus 4 comma 6. Now let us see here, we got the value of x. What else do we need to find out here? We need to find out qr and pr length, right? So what we need to find out here? QR and here PR length. So whenever you need to find out the length, what is the Q value here? Q coordinates are, what are the coordinates of Q? We are having Q coordinates as 0, comma 1, right? So 0, comma 1, and R coordinates are 4, comma 6. Similarly here, to calculate here PR using distance formula, the coordinates of P is 5 comma minus 3, here 5 comma minus 3, and R coordinates, this is P coordinates, and R coordinates are 4 comma 6. So let us first here, so first I am taking this, right? Next one we'll see how to find out the other length. So how to get here QR length? Under root here, now x2 minus x1, 4 minus 0 whole square plus 6 minus 1 whole square, right? Which is nothing but here 4 square plus 5 square. What is the answer then? QR equals to 16 plus 25, and this is going to be a prime number which is root 41 units, right? Similarly here, if I am calculating here PR, how are we going to calculate PR? I can take now x1 minus x2 or x2 minus x1, 4 minus 5 whole square plus 6 minus of minus 3 whole square, right? So what will be this here? Only you need to be careful when you are calculating the negative value. Minus 1 whole square plus 6 plus 3 whole square, right? Which is nothing but 1 plus 9 square, which is 1 plus 81, which is root 82. Now root 82, because we need to write down in simplest form. If you please cross check by doing the prime factorization if you are able to get any square number, because 41 is a prime number. So this is my answer here, 42 units, correct? So we got this. Now what will happen here if my coordinates of r is minus 4? R coordinates as minus 4 comma 6. What will happen here? The length is going to be same, because here what will happen here? Will the length will be same? No, the length will change here, correct? Because so let us take here what will happen if Q, then this is your case 1, this is your case 2, right? If your Q coordinates are 0 comma 1 and R coordinates are minus 4 comma 6, And what is the other case here? P is 5 comma minus 3 and our coordinates are minus 4 comma 6. Let us find out, because you need to find out all the length because the coordinates are different, right? So first let us see here QR length. What will happen to QR length? Because this is 0, right? If you see x coordinate is 0, there won't be any change because this will be minus 4 minus 0 whole square plus 6 minus 1 whole square. So minus 4 whole square is going to be 16 only, plus 5 square is 25. Answer is root 41 units. Why there is no change here? Because here there is 0 comma 1. There is no change in x coordinate. But what will happen if I take for the length of PR? Let us see here, length of PR. If I take it here, minus 4 minus 5, because x coordinate is not same here, right? It's a numerical value, so there will be change. 6 minus of minus 3 whole square, right? So how do we do it here? It's minus 9 whole square. Be careful with the sign when you're solving the questions. 6 plus 3 whole square. Now minus 9 whole square is going to be 81, plus this is also 9, right? 9 square is 81. 81 plus 81, if I take, it is 162. Now I need to write down this in the simplest form. How can we write down in the simplest form? Do prime factorization and see what value, if you are able to get any value which is in the form of perfect square. So take it here 81, then I can take here 9 nines are 81, right? Prime factorization, I have taken 9 because I know I can take a square root as 9, right? Or if you are doing prime factorization, you can take here 3 and still you are going to get 9 as a perfect square here, right? I can do this also. It's 162, so it's 81. I can divide by, because prime factorization we use prime factors only. Because it was perfect square, so I have taken here 9, right? You can see that this is pair, this is in pair. So you can write down here 3 square into 3 square into 2, and if you find out the square root, it is 9 root 2. So what is the another? PR length is getting changed when your coordinates are different, right? So PR is 9 root 2 units. So what is going to be your final answer if you will check? Therefore, there is no change in QR length. If you will see above and below, because your x coordinate is 0, right? So whether you take the x coordinate is getting changed, still the answer is same. So let us write down first value here. Your x value is, you got it as plus minus 4. Then the length of QR is root 41 units. Always conclude your answer. And your length of PR is here root 82, right? Root 82 or 9 root 2 units. Because there are two possible values of x, that is why you are getting this as answer, right? So hope you got this. Now let us see the next question. You have done already solved 4 questions. Make sure you are resolving questions by your own, so you do not have any doubt for these questions, right? Let us see the next question. What do I need to find out in question number 5 here? If you will see, find the value of m, right? This is, find the value of m if the distance between x and y is 8 units. Now the previous question was based on equidistant, right? And here it's given. The distance is already given. What is given first here? Write on x coordinate. It's given minus 2 comma minus 12. Y coordinate is given m minus 4, and xy, because xy is the distance between x and y, it's given 8 units, right? So again we'll start writing with distance formula. What is your distance formula? If I take distance formula, it is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square, right? Now here if I take x2 minus x1, what can I take it here? X2 if I am taking at as xy, right? So xy is going to be equals to 8, right? So first you get xy, m minus of minus 2 whole square, right? X2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 is minus 4 minus of minus 12, right? First substitute, then you simplify to get the simplest form. Now this value is equals to 8, so I can start writing with this like this: m plus 2 whole square plus minus 4 plus 12 whole square equals to 8. Now the first thing you will do, squaring both sides, right? Squaring both sides. Why do we do squaring both sides? So that we are not having any square root value here. So write down just squaring both sides. If I do squaring both sides, what will happen? Square root will be gone and it can be written as m plus 2 whole square plus minus 4 plus 12 is 8. It is 8 square is equals to 8 square, right? Simplify this. Again, we have to use here identity a plus b whole square. What is the identity a plus b whole square? A square plus 2ab plus b square, right? So how can we write down here? M square plus 2ab will be 4m plus 4 plus 64, and I am bringing this to the LHS because I can see that here it is quadratic equation. So this question is integration with quadratic equation, and these kind of questions where there are integration of two topics, it's coming in board exam. So what do we have it here? M square plus 4m plus 4 is equals to 0, right? Now this is nothing but a perfect square, right? So we can directly solve here. There will be two equal solutions, and we know that here how can we do the factorization? If you're taking it, you know this is m plus 2 whole square because these values got cancelled, correct? So what is going to be your m value here? If I do factorization, m square plus 2m plus 2m plus 4, or you use the identity, right? Because nothing got cancelled, 8 square got cancelled, that's why we left with only m plus 2 whole square term. So what is the value here? M plus 2 plus 2 m plus 2 equals to 0. This is nothing but the two equal roots, right? So what is going to be the value of m? Or because we started with m plus 2 whole square. You know that when it's a b square minus 4ac here equals to 0, these are the two equal solution, minus 2 or minus 2, right? Therefore, m is minus 2. So you are getting the value of m, which is minus 2, correct? So what are they asking here? Find the value of m. So you got m as minus 2. So again, you have used here distance formula to calculate the value of m.
Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Also, keep practicing.